Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Good day, viewers around the world. You are welcome. Friday, it's another Friday, close to the weekend. And we're here in the SSM studio, Milan. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajunwa. We've come to do our Friday update, Global Friday. Joining me as usual are coordinators from different parts of the world. In Toronto, Canada is our big man, Sir George Chukwu. Sir George, how are you this Friday?
I am so wonderful and fantastic. Good morning, Mark Godwin, and good morning, viewers from around the world. Welcome to our new Global Update. It's going to be a fantastic one indeed.
Yes, George. George, is it Friday yet with on your end? Because it's Friday here.
Yes, it is. It is Friday. It is Friday. Friday morning, actually. Yes.
Friday morning. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, Milan, Central Europe time. Okay, George, good to see you, George. Situations are not looking too good. Nigeria is still the north of Nigeria, BORNO state. Not North Nigeria, it has become a humanitarian crisis. Maiduguri, like we said during the week, the whole town, the whole city is just under the water. There you go. For those of you that have not heard this is the north of Nigeria, Maiduguri. Maiduguri used to be a hub for so many things in the north, but right now, 30 people are dead. 400,000 households have been displaced by this flood. George, are you following that very serious situation there? People are actually standing on their rooftop so that they don't get drowned by the water. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. Yes, it is incredible, and I am saddened with what we're seeing actually. Because this we said last a few days ago that there is a preventable occurrence. You know, this severe flooding in that area has killed about 30 people and affected more than 1 million people actually. And the worst part of it is that the collapse of Alio Dam, and that Ngada River, has made it even worse. That a lot of people are running away from their homes. And the state of emergency has been declared. But the question is, 30 years ago, something like this happened, and a warning was issued. A few years ago, also, a couple of years ago, we saw the flooding that took place and discovered that actually was because of Cameroon and the dam that is, in between Nigeria and Cameroon, that if you don't fix it, something like this will happen. Here we go again, 360. Back to the same thing. Nothing was done to prevent the flooding, and many people are displaced. Their homes are damaged. Can you imagine what will happen to these houses with the furniture and everything? It's all completely, it's a severe disaster, as a matter of fact.
Severe disaster. Let's hear from our man in Ghana, Accra. Ghana, Accra, Olaraji. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. So I'm actually on my way from Accra to Cape Coast. So sometimes I'll be fading in and out. Yeah, so I just want to say that.
Because you are having fun. See, your face is swollen.
Exactly.
Refreshed.
Wow. I don't need endurance cream in Ghana.
There's an endurance cream. Let's hear who will tell us of that endurance cream. Our diva, BD Nana from Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning, BD.
Good morning, everyone in the studio. Saraji, the Ghana man, Sir George, our viewers all around.
Okay.
You're welcome, BD. Yes. So
thanks for having us again today.
Thank you for coming into the studio too. Okay. But Raji, maybe you could just hang on for some time
Okay.
Before you begin to move, we
Okay.
will take your time. If something
Okay.
urgent is for you to
No, no,
do,
no.
then maybe you go a few minutes. Okay, we're talking about the situation in Maiduguri, BD. It has now become a humanitarian crisis. 30 people they confirmed dead, 400,000 households displaced. We know the number of dead will be more than that. We know, but I mean, let's just go with the 40 people. And George was telling us something very important. He said this happened same time last year. Government should have taken note of this when dams overflow. And now, I mean, we were there watching, and it's happening again. BD, tell us what's happening in Maiduguri.
But early this year, there was a forecast that Nigeria is going to experience a lot of flood problem this year. It was, they said it. It's not, what is coming to us like an emergency should not be an emergency. You remember last year when what happened in Dubai happened, and it was only 13 people that died. Do you understand? Because they already know and they planned for it. So what is happening in Nigeria, it's not a surprise to us because we already know. But in our nature, we like to talk, we like to speak grammar like I used to say. The government did not get to work. They did not do what they're supposed to do. This dam that's escaped that happened this thing. This is the second time this thing is happening in Maiduguri. This is not the first time. Do you understand? It's not the first time this thing is happening in Maiduguri. It happened like 20 years ago, and they had this kind of experience. Now, if it's the government that is working, when this kind of thing happened 20 years ago, that is when Nigerian government would have started work, putting things in place, avoiding what happened this week in Maiduguri. But they did not do it. Now we have over 1 million people misplaced in Maiduguri. This thing they are telling you, the number they are telling you of deaths is not the number. A lot of people died. A lot of people were displaced. And as it stands now, Maiduguri don't even have IDP camp. So where these people will be now is actually a very big problem to Nigerian government. So it boils down to we as people, we don't take precaution measure. We don't plan for things. We don't, investigate things. We were warned. So everybody running helter-skelter, doing as if they are overworking. It's what I call hypocrisy, because who would have done what we are doing now earlier this year? We would have prevented what is happening in Maiduguri today. We have prevented a lot of lives we have lost in Maiduguri today.
Thank you, BD. Viewers, what you're seeing there is a real-time photo that's coming to the studio. You can see it. People are standing now. They just stand, watch their houses submerge, and that's what is happening. People are standing on rooftop of the houses, on bridges, anywhere that can give an elevation. Raji in Ghana, tell us. You talked about this too last time. What is your other assessment?
It's like a recurrent decimal. We know these things will happen. It has happened before. It's not just the first time. It's happened so many times. So many times. So it's just like my colleagues have said, we are seriously unprepared for anything. And a simple thing is now turned into an emergency. If you are taking precautions, I don't think we'll have the kind of emergency situation that we now have.
Sir, thank you very much, Roger. George, you said it. You've been saying this anyway, so there's no point repeating it again. But let's go to news coming from our corner. Edo State. Let's come now to Edo State. Edo is South Nigeria, south of Nigeria, and Edo State has this off-season election. Viewers, off-season election means it doesn't conduct election the same time with all the other states. So Edo State is having this election this next Saturday, 21st of September, and sadly, things are not looking too good. George, the peace accord that was supposed to be signed by the Edo political parties not all of them signed. 17 of them signed. The other ones, APC, some other party didn't sign. George, what do you have about this?
Well, and I know that the former head of state, I forgot what's his name again, actually had headed to Edo State to make sure that to ensure there is peace, because there's been a lot of threat coming out and regarding this election. So from different factions. So many of the 17 of those people signed, but what you're seeing is that even Obaseki was complaining about the threats were coming. So as a result of that, he refused to sign because there has been a lot of threat, taking place. But I thought maybe this would have been the opportunity, even if he didn't want to, even if the threats are coming, by signing peace accord, everybody can shield their sword. But evidently, he's not aware of it because of a lot of intimidation coming from the police force, according to him, or allegedly. So that's what we're seeing right now. But it begs the question: you are still the governor of this state, and yet you're crying out like this. I'm not quite sure. Is the federal government intimidating the Edo state with police force, arresting people and just locking them up unnecessarily and transferring them to Abuja? Is what Obaseki was complaining about. So these are things that is very troubling, because there is no telling what is going to happen when this actually takes place during the election.
There is no telling to what's going to happen during the election. Raji, I know you follow Edo State issues too. Now, what the man is saying somehow is reasonable, the governor. But again, you begin to wonder, why is he emphasizing this much? I mean, he's supposed to be outgoing. He's supposed to be going out and not agitating again for a tenure. So he's sounding like he's the one that is coming in to govern again. But he's saying that most of their party members have been arrested, taken to Abuja for no reason. Tell us, what do you know?
It's all politics. It's all politics, and all that they are doing is crying fire, 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 in case they are the people who are planning all the violence. It's like crying fire, fire, so that you cover your tracks. It's all politics. It's all politics. I really hope that there'll be peaceful elections in Edo State. And like we said before, I'm praying that the Labour Party candidate will win. I will wish the best of luck to all participants.
BD,
Yeah.
give us real-time info, Edo State, and what's happening. Next week is the election. How prepared is Edo for that election?
Edo is very much prepared for this election, but the kind of drama that is happening in Edo State, Nigerians should not be surprised, because we'll keep getting what we've been getting. Yes, the ruling party is bent on taking over Edo State. And the problem the Edos are putting themselves into are giving them up for that opportunity. I'm telling you, the PDP, Edo is a PDP state. But I must tell you, with the happenings in Edo over the years, over like 2 years now, it's obvious that the governor of Edo State, Obaseki, and the Edo politicians have collectively given Edo up, making it possible for the ruling party to take over Edo State. Now, as for Labour Party, is no longer a doubt that good number of Edo people want Labour Party in power. The rumor they rumored about Labour Party, Obi, and Obi was there. You saw the massive crowd. That came out for that campaign. So I just pray that election will go on peacefully, because what we are seeing, I'm telling even some of my journalist friends who were planning to make that trip to Edo, a lot of people are backing out, that they don't think they will be there because of what is going on. It has already started happening in Edo. Now, some parties are declining signing the peace accord. You know what that means? in an election in a state, you're openly declining to sign a peace accord. If it's in a country where things are happening, that election will be withheld. Because how can a political party who is slated to partake in an election is declining signing a peace accord? It means that they're already prepared for the violence they are going to cause in that state. And nothing is going to happen. They will still go on with that election and they will do what they want to do. Probably come out the winner and nothing will happen because it's happening in this country. So I tell you, it's going to be tough in a Edo election. I just pray that God will help us.
Cannot hear you, my golden.
Okay,
Cannot hear
can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Thank you, Bidi. I'm reading a comment from a viewer all the way from Guyana. He says, "Happy Grand Rising from Guyana to my sisters and brothers." So we want to thank you, Roger John, for tuning in, following us. Yes, today is an international news update, but we're doing some local news because these are recurring activities. George, still on, there's a man there that we need to, he's having his birthday, the Esama of Edo land. The Esama of Benin is called Sir Gabriel Ibinedium. Sir Gabriel yesterday celebrating his 90th birthday. I've come close to this man on some occasions, and I think it's worthy we just also say happy birthday to him. George, do you know about the Esama of Edo land, of Benin?
I know him, but I don't know him. Yeah,
Okay.
but he's an elderly statesman, 90 years old. Happy birthday, sir. He looks good at 90, though. He still looks fresh. The oil is still flowing in his body. So we wish him, happy birthday. A much longer satisfaction as he closes 100 years old. And I believe that he might make it. Looking at him right now, he looks very fresh at the age of 90.
Yes.
Money
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. Bidi, before Bidi, Raji, you know the SMA is celebrating his 90th birthday.
Yes.
These are notable personality in Nigeria that, yes, say something.
It's a very happy birthday to the initiator of Okada Airlines and of so many other firsts. Happy birthday to him. We wish him long life and prosperity. No, it already has long life. It already has prosperity. We wish him sound health the rest of his years, and that there will be peace and joy in his life the rest of his years.
Thank you. Thank you, Bidi.
All he needs is peace and joy.
Yes, that's all he needs. Yes, and he will have it. Bidi, say something to the SMA.
The SMA of Benin, we all here from SMEs are wishing you happy 90th birthday. It's not easy. In fact, he needs to send our cake because if you have followed this man, he's 75, 86, 80, he always celebrates it in grand style. So, Massive Mike, we are wishing him all the best. He will still live more 30 years in good health because the man is looking good. Oh my God. He's looking fresh, good. Please, SMA, send our own cake. We are wishing you all the best. You will live healthy and longer more. In Jesus' name.
Yes, healthy. Amen. Thank you very much. SMA, that's for you. Nice. Okay, viewers. Let's continue with more of the news, international news. Let's come to George, close to you there. We were hearing some stories. Donald Trump says he will not debate Kamala Harris again. There's supposed to be another showdown. But he said he's not doing this, that he's now focused on the campaign. Election is close. He has done two debates and he won't. George, do you think he's backing down? Is he like the defeat? George is laughing now. George is laughing.
I'm just laughing. No, I expected him. I expected him to say that. Actually, you see, Trump is very predictable. So he's not the type of individual that might. He's very, very predictable because of the type of personality he has. He's a very narcissistic individual. So when he loses in any way whatsoever, and a regular individual would have said, "Okay, I messed up in this one. Let me go ahead and caution myself and make sure that I discipline myself in the next so that I can take over." But it will never happen with him because he hates to lose, and he's been losing. And I don't know how he's going to be able to take this one when it happens again. So it's very unfortunate, but I was expecting him to make the announcement.
Raji, do you think he's backing? I mean, his reasons are cogent enough.
Those are political reasons and not real reasons. These are that I haven't seen a winner who got an excuse before. Winners usually don't have excuses. Losers always have excuses. So let's
hear Raji tell us.
Well, I was a little surprised when he said he was no more going to debate Kamala, which shows that he has already he's given up on the preliminaries. But that doesn't mean that he's giving up on the elections. That guy is going to stand for elections, and you'll be surprised what will happen. Because when elections come, essentially, most people vote out of emotions. So I don't think the debate will be so important or will have so much effect on the final elections. I don't think so. Well, but I'm surprised that he gave up so easy. I would have thought that he would go back and do his homework and come out better prepared. Yes.
Thank you. That's what I thought too, Raji. I thought he was going to go and buy other type of better boxing glove. Maybe a red one and come out with stronger punches. But there is no foundational base for him to do so because he cannot. It's very difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. So that's what it is.
The face-off was too much. Trump could not withhold it, and I think he underestimated Harry. And they said, "Kama, why is he running away?" This was actually close to what he did to Biden. You remember, he did it to Biden, and he was bragging, and the woman is doing it to him. So why is he running away? Like I just said, I'm telling you, if things are being done normally, Harry has won this election. But like Sir George said, people will still vote out of sympathy, out of emotion. Do you understand? But I tell you, I am really happy with what happened to Trump. Trump did not see this coming. The thing came to him unaware, and it's really threw him off balance. So for his own sanity, the man is telling you, "I'm not debating with this woman again." The woman shuts him
down. Okay, while he's also saying this, something else happening in different corner. Biden wore his hat last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Biden wore the Trump hat. He said anyway. What he said was, it's a bipartisan
type of gesture that he was doing. Actually, because of 9/11. 9/11, everybody comes together to celebrate. So what he did was a gesture to show that all America are standing in united front against such an act ever happening again. So it's a political gesture. It didn't mean that he's supporting Trump, but anything like that. So these are really what you call seasoned politicians who understand the unity within the nation and even the division. They're trying to pour cold water on it. So it's not anything. It's a gesture. It's a political gesture.
Exactly. I totally agree with Sir George. He is the president of the United States of America. Do you understand? So what he did is what every normal thinking president of a nation should do. Trying to calm the tension, trying to tell people, we all are together, we all are one, irrespective of our different party and ideology. We are still Americans, and to make Americans great, like they always say, is what each and every one of us should stand for. That's what I see from this cap he's wearing.
Biden does not stand. Biden does not stand for make America great again. That's Trump. America is already great. Biden stands on let's remain in our greatness.
Let's remain. Okay, Raji is unmuted. We saw that, and these are beautiful things to see when politicians do like this. But George, I will also say that Trump's reason for not debating are cogent for me, because he has done two already. Election is close. Well, what's the use debating when you need to get out there and begin your campaign and meet people?
No, it's part of the campaign.
Debating is not campaign.
Hold on, debating is part of the campaign. If you
but he has done two.
The point is he chickened out. Trump chickened out because he was beaten down by a woman. Simple, straightforward. There is no excuses. He can give any excuse he wants to bring out there the reason why he doesn't want to debate again. If Trump had done well in this debate, he'll be seeking for the second so that he can totally knock the woman out. But the point is, a woman has knocked him out, and he's going back to lick his pain. That's simple as that. Excuses are not anything. He's just giving excuses. The man chickened out. A woman has knocked him out. Plain and simple. Even Raji agrees with me. Can you imagine? Even Raji agrees with me on this one.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you that he chickened out. I agree with you that I expected that he will have gone back to prepare himself for a better debate. You can celebrate your win as much as you like. But let me assure you, the trumpet shall sound. The trumpet shall yet sound.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to some other stories. We have lots of them coming in. George, I don't know if you're following this news. There is a strong warning coming from Vladimir Putin. We hope the bells of war don't begin to ring strong. Vladimir Putin is telling America and NATO there will be war if they allow Ukraine use long-range missiles. And this morning, Biden said, yes, America is going to help Ukraine begin to throw in missiles right into the corners of Russia. Guys, let's talk about this because it's serious. I was listening to this yesterday on the French TV, and it's a serious issue. What do you think will happen? The man says any more move, he'll strike. He'll make it.
Sometimes there's a proverb in Igbo land that says that a mad dog have never seen an angry wolf before. When you're talking about you're dealing with a small Ukraine and you haven't been able to do anything, the only thing he's threatening is nuclear war. That's all he's threatening. But these are things when you have these people that are not even they don't consider, they're so self-serving, and they don't consider other people, the deaths that are taking place, the people that are being misplaced, and all those type of things. All this started because Steve Stammer, is visiting US, and they're going to be discussing, the possibilities of this. As Steve said, Kamal said that Putin started the war and he ought to end the war. But all we are saying, and the whole entire world is saying, enough is enough. All these self-serving head of states and prime ministers and emperors gotta start thinking about the citizens, whether they are allowed for them to, long-range missiles and all that kind of stuff. That is not the issue. The war has been going on. There ought not to be. This thing needs to stop right away. Millions have already died, and people are still dying. People are suffering daily simply because of two individuals, a comedian and a narcissistic individual who refuses to, calm down and think about their people. So if he's thinking about, oh, he's threatening, you threaten who? You think, your nuclear war, they can destroy you and destroy your nuclear war in just a moment. You haven't even been able to win a little country. Then you're talking about the whole entire NATO countries. We need to stop this nonsense with these leaders that can't even have any compassion in their hearts about their own people, the suffering of the world. Putin could have waited on, after a little while after the pandemic for the world to recover, but because of that selfish, self-interest type of attitude, war started. No negotiation, no diplomatic negotiation of any kind. We are tired of all these, terror, people that are in government that are terrorists. Because when you think about the people that have died, none of their family members have died, none whatsoever. They are not putting any of their family members in the war front. So now people are just dying unnecessarily. And most of the people that are killing each other are brothers and sisters that grew up together under Soviet Union. So we need to really stop this madness that is happening around the world.
Thank you, George. PD, yes, the man is saying some words, but if you look at it also, the NATO, America is not doing well by pushing harder. Everybody should be on the how do we settle this negotiating table, talking and stopping all of this. If they are also saying Russia, Ukraine should go in and do some long-range missile destruction, that's a problem. Obviously, it's a problem. So tell us, BD, what do you think?
Yeah, certainly it will bring more problems to the world. But then you should remember that Ukraine did not start this war. Russia started this war. And in normal circumstances, it has actually lingered and they've caused a lot of harm in Ukraine. And he's not even considering or planning stopping it anytime soon. Do you understand? And so Ukraine is, going out there looking for help, looking for assistance. Now, if American, NATO, Europeans say that they are going to help them to, they're going to lift ban on the long-range missile to be used. My dear, it's normal. So, Putin coming out now to shout, what I expected him to do is to do the needful. If you don't want this thing to be lifted, using of the long range, do the needful, stop this war. You have the power to do that. But he doesn't want to stop it. And at the same time, he doesn't want the Ukraine to, do something for their own good. You don't do things like that. Do you understand? Like Sajad said, this is a narcissistic way of life. You can't always have your way. Now you fought this war for some time. It's time you should step back and do some certain things.
Okay. Yes, Rajesh.
With all your submissions, if you look at it historically, there wouldn't have been a war between Ukraine and Russia in the first instance if NATO had not been meddlesome in the affairs of the two countries. NATO expansionist propensity caused this war. And in fact, there was going to be an agreement between Russia and Ukraine, which was beneficial to both of them, until Boris Johnson was sent in to disrupt it. It's after that disruption that the Ukrainians are now being encouraged to fight until the last person. How can a mouse until the last person? No. And they're almost up to the last person.
Gentlemen.
Now hold on, Bidi. Hold on, Bidi. What Putin is saying is that, look, Ukraine does not have the technical ability to deploy long-range missiles, and if they are doing that, it means because NATO has involved himself in the war. Rather than being a peacekeeper, NATO is exacerbating the whole situation. You see, if NATO had not been involved in the first instance, Ukraine and Russia have been brothers, have been the same people all along. There wouldn't have been any war.
Okay.
Let us be careful about.
Gentlemen, let's pause here. Hold on your fire. Don't go. we need to take this small break. We're still on that issue, NATO, Ukraine, Russia, and what could happen next. So let's see on the other side, viewers. Thank you.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, we're back. Viewers, hope you're following us. You're getting the storyline. This is it, Friday, World Affairs. George, I hope you're there. George in Canada,
Yes.
Raji in Accra, Ghana, and BD in Lagos, Nigeria. We're still on the Ukraine thing because this could really escalate to something else. But George, I really think NATO is playing a little bit of the hard man, the stubborn goat, because and maybe because it's not affecting them directly. Take note, France and United States, Germany, these are the core people around NATO. So, I mean, making Ukraine do more long-range attack, that's not, I mean, where do we take this to? This won't end the war at all.
The question is, the war has gone on for how many years now?
Almost 3 years now, George.
Is it fair to the Ukrainians that they are restricted from using long-range missiles, while Russia is arbitrarily using and abusing all kinds of international laws?
Russia is not.
Can I finish? Please don't interrupt.
No. I'm not interrupting you. I'm correcting you. Russia is not using long-range weapons.
You can have your own time to talk, please. Thank you. So what is happening right here is this. Would it be now unfair to Ukrainians if they are still completely restricted? When Russia have not obeyed any international law,
not restricted.
Can you just stop?
Nobody is restricted.
Stop. No. When I finish, you can talk. When I finish, you can talk.
We can't be talking like small boys talking to each other. Look,
it's uncivilized for
you to continue with disinformation and lies.
No. You have to listen.
Ukraine is not restricted from doing anything, and Russia has not been using long-range missiles.
Somebody is talking and you just interrupting. That's very, very juvenile.
I'm not interrupting. I'm not interrupting you. I'm just correcting you.
I have the stage. Let me finish. Number one is
nothing about you having the stage.
It's okay, Raji. Let's hear George. George, round up. George, round up so Raji can speak. George, round up.
If it's falsifying information, I have to correct him.
One thing about it, don't be a Trump on this stage.
I'm not a Trump. I don't look like Trump. I don't have yellow hair, and I'm not a Trump.
You have white hair. You have white hair. Oh my God! But anyway, like I was saying, I stand in the middle of this whole entire thing. There got to be a diplomatic negotiation to stop the war. It's already gone too far. And the more they go through this, whether it's NATO, whether it's Putin threatening and all those things, at this particular time and moment, it is unnecessary. It's gone long enough. Every common man in the world today have suffered because of this war. Because of this war, that there was a restriction on fossil fuel and everything that is happening around the world. So they need to really come to the table and stop the war now. That's where I stand.
Thank you.
Yes.
Raji, go ahead.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. The war has gone on for too long. Too long. It's an unnecessary. It was an unnecessary war. It shouldn't have happened in the first instance. But now that it's there, they should, except for the meddlesomeness of NATO and particularly of US, this war wouldn't have started in the first instance. Let them all put their egos in their pockets and let us come to the every war eventually comes to the table. And therefore it is even surprising that human beings don't learn. Instead of going to war, let's go to the table. Yes.
Like George was saying earlier, the UK Prime Minister, Sir Starmer, also, these are people exacerbating this whole thing. But he also came in a different way anyway. He said it's time for Putin to end the war. But the PM, because he's right now in America, the PM also said that any means necessary, they could allow Ukraine use the long range. So let's hope that these decisions don't take place. Let's hope that they don't go into any long range war and this thing begin to subside. So, gentlemen, thank you. BD, is there anything you want to say again on that, or do we move on?
No, I think we said as much as possible.
What I know is that see, what I want to say is this: it's obvious that some people want Ukraine to just fold their hands, not do anything, even as Russia is hitting on them. My dear, it's normal with human being. If someone is hitting on you, you will always find a way to save yourself. And that's actually what Ukraine is doing. And it's left for Russia. Now, you talk about that NATO started this thing. Now, when NATO came interfere, was there anything like dialogue? Did Russia even try to dialogue with Ukraine or even with NATO? They never did anything like that, but they went on war. And like I said, Russia started... Sorry, BD. I think you didn't hear me well. There was an agreement that was going to be signed. It was actually in favor of Ukraine until Boris Johnson was sent by NATO to go and disrupt it. How did he disrupt it?
It's not as if he went. No. You are not listening. You are not listening. You are bent on your own concept. There was going to be a contract. There was going to be a contract. Hold on. Please, let me just finish it. There was going to be a contract between Russia and Ukraine, which was even beneficial to Ukraine until NATO sent in Boris Johnson to go and disrupt it and convince the comedian who calls himself the president of Ukraine not to sign that agreement.
Stop calling.
All right,
one of the greatest presidents in America is Reagan, and he was
he's a comedian, but the people voted for him.
Yes,
people
voted
for him.
Yes.
So whatever
Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Is he better than your president?
One of the best presidents. Well,
is he better than the president?
Is he better than the one you voted in Nigeria? You see?
Anyway, what we did in the studio yesterday, is a diagram and a graphic diagram of how it will go if they begin to use the long-range missiles. And you can see there, viewers, how the plane will be taking it off, missiles will be deployed from a fighter jet, and the fighter jet will go through a path and boom, blow up wherever, Moscow, or wherever it is. So, but we hope this plan doesn't go further, and we want peace. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to other stories. Thank you for that. This one has to do a little with our country. All of a sudden, from nowhere, we had President Tinubu was in the UK, Buckingham Palace, meeting with the King Charles. And he said he was there to discuss climate change. George, this movement not too much? I mean, was he discussing climate change for Buckingham Palace?
Okay, you have a country that is on fire. A country that is on fire with a country that is on fire with the economy of the nation. A country that is so messed up in every area. You're going to discuss climate change. What does climate change got to do with Nigeria and the economy? What is climate change? You see, these are things that sometimes I just wonder. You know, sometimes you just don't understand. You know, because this is like Raj is talking about comedy. This is a real comedian. This is real comedy.
I can't hold myself.
No, Sir George. This is not comedy. This is tragic.
This is real comedy. In a very, very funny way. What is climate?
What is he going to
do? So, anyway,
is that going to change the price of the bread in Nigeria? Mm-hmm. Is the bag of rice, the price of bag of rice, be lower because of climate change discussion with the King of England? What is he going to do? I just don't get it.
Moments like this, I want to hear from BD. She's there also in Nigeria. BD, tell us. Your president was with the King of United Kingdom, and he said discussing climate change. Actually, there's an expectation they have participating in something they call the summit in Azerbaijan, and the Commonwealth meeting also in Samoa. So he says going ahead to make collaborations, see how all this will be put together so that they can fight the climate change. Tell us, BD. Our president is in.
President just came back from China. Many people don't even know that he's back from China. The next thing we saw that he's in UK discussing climate change with King Charles III. Mm-hmm. And Nigeria were like, we are hungry. A lot of things is happening in Nigeria. Is climate change our problem? But the president has already gone. He's not asking for your suggestion or for your opinion. So he said that he actually dialogued with Prince Charles, and they talked about the funding, the financing for climate change. And another thing they talked about is how to strengthen Nigerian leadership among African and Commonwealth. That's what they told us. Bayo Anonuga, the minister, the SA on information and strategies, that was what he told us. We did not hear from the president mouth, but at least when Bayo spoke, president has spoken. She understands. So, and you were saying, what is our problem? See, to you feel that Nigerian problem is hunger, hardship, electricity, fuel, and leadership problem. But to them, they are not seeing those things as a problem. To them, Nigerians are living okay. So they want to go into the climate change. They want to level up with the other world leaders who are talking about climate change. And if you look at it, those leaders that are talking about climate change, their homes are okay. Their homes are in order. They've taken care of the necessary things. The climate change is now an external thing, is like a secondary thing. Now, but in our own country, we left the primary thing and we are chasing after the secondary thing. So that's where we find ourselves. What do you want me to say? They told us, even look at the picture and everything, you'll be like, let me not say what I want to say before they say this lady. He has gone and he's back. He's welcome home. What do I say?
Well,
you know,
Is it
part of the
back yet?
part of the issue here, what they do. Let me tell you something. You see, when third world countries like Nigeria is actively on top of this type of thing, it's all about AIDS. Because let me tell you what's going to happen eventually. Money will be released to these countries in order for them to curb, and to help towards that climate change. And if it wasn't for the money that is coming, I can guarantee you Tinubu will not be there. And most of this money that is being donated into the country and coming into the country to help with the security from the US and other countries, and every aspect of it is unaccounted for. This money will be released and it will go into the coffers and it will disappear, and there will be no accountability for that. So this is one of the things we need to understand. This thing was exposed when UK spoke about the amount of money they gave towards the election in 2023, I believe they're thereabout. So we didn't know that they gave money. We didn't know. It was only when they started arguing in the parliament that they discussed it. Nigeria never said that UK gave a 5 billion or whatever, how much it was, or 5 million pounds, to help with the election. They never mentioned it. So these are sometimes when you see them going on into these things and trying to be champions of nothing. That's what I call it, champions of nothing. It's all about the money they're going to be receiving. That's it.
Sir George is 100. Sir George is 100% correct, because if you look at the memo they gave us, the focus was on financing and funding. It's all about the money. It's not about anything.
That's
it's
it.
all about the money.
And all this aid is causing AIDS for Africa, because they all come with all manner of stringent conditionality.
Conditions.
All manner of strings attached, such that let's be very, very obvious. Let's be very, very sure. There's no free money anywhere. So if anybody is giving you free money, it is not free. There's something attached to it that is going to put you in chains. And for Africans, it seems as if we have been so used to getting all these things that put us in chains that we are now beginning to enjoy our chains. You see, it is very, very sad. It's very, very sad. What the hell does King Charles even have to do with climate change? And the whole climate change regime is a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. If you are talking about the carbon footing, can you believe that during the COVID restrictions, when there was hardly any movement globally, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increased? So what are we talking about climate change? What's the change in the climate?
What's the change?
Up to today, if you understand the amount of investment that is put onto coastal development, coastal property developments in London, in Miami, in Florida, you begin to understand that there's nothing going to raise.
Yes, one time Vice President of the United States, Al Gore, started all these things, and he's going very far now. Sorry to cut in.
There's one billionaire, I've forgotten his name, who is regretting that if he had known that Al Gore was going to push it, he would have been the first person to push it, because it's a scam. It's a serious scam, because development is still going on all over London, and if according to all these climate change proposals, there will be rising sea level all over the place, and even 1 inch rise in sea level will probably take over the whole of Florida and most of London. And yet no.
Thank you. Yes, we lost him there. Okay, George and BD. Yeah, that's it. We saw our president right there in the UK. It was a very fast visit. He intentionally did that so that people won't talk. He went, and it was when he was there that the news now spread. You know, I know they planned that way. Let's go on.
He came back. He came back before the news spread, Steph.
Okay.
He came back before the news came out. Yeah.
Okay, he came back before the news spread. And we're still on that issue of him curtailing his cabinet. Over 85%, like they say, of his activities are non-functional, and they're just wasting resources. Is that not what we said, George? All of these movements just wasting our resources.
We have mentioned it before, and then his puppet, Bayanonoga, Minister Wannabe, is controlling almost everything. So he's even more active than the young man that resigned. If you and possibly the part of the reason why he must have resigned, because there has been a lot of confusion between Ngalele's reports and Bayanonoga's reports. So these are the problems that we have had in the past. One will come and say this, another will say that. So Bayanonoga is a minister wannabe. He's not even a minister, for goodness sake. But he's more active than ministers.
George, on the low, if we can get Ajure, what's his name again? The Ajure, BD. If we can get Ajure, Ajure has a lot to say. Ajure is a man to get now. We want to hear from him.
To talk now. He doesn't want to speak now.
Ajure has top-notch classified information that will blow up the minds of Nigerians when he releases.
Can't you see that they've started blackmailing him?
Okay.
Have you not heard it? They've started blackmailing him.
Listen, if you have a way we can have him, let's have him on SSM.
He can't speak now. They came up with that he doesn't. They come up with this story that he doesn't know anything, that he doesn't know the job, that they were begged to take him. You know that he already was. They was about sacking him. And
okay, viewers, for our viewers that don't know, Ajure we're talking about is a young man that was the media publicity director for the presidency, and last week he resigned. He put up a letter of resignation. But what we heard truly from the back end is that he was sacked.
The fact is, he was tired of lying. He was tired of lying.
His conscience took over.
Raji, get him for us. We want Ajure. We want Ajure to go. Ajure is like a time bomb. We're walking now. George, can you get Ajure?
I don't think he will talk now.
Because remember where he's coming from. Remember where he's coming from. He knows the power of the people that he came out of, and he knows what they can do to him if he starts talking. Let's allow him to heal first of all, because I know this sickness, that the health purposes, is because of his conscience being seared with hot iron, overlying again and again and again, and the conscience is bothering him. So let him heal a little bit. Maybe when he leaves the country with his family, that he can open up to us, and then we'll hear the truth about what really happened behind the scenes.
Yes, he's an American citizen. So George,
let me tell you people,
yes,
as long as APC is still in power, Ajure is not going to speak now, because he has a lot of things, he knows a lot of things, and he's not going to speak now. If they tell you the drama that happened when he went to drop his resignation letter, you will understand why I'm saying this. He will speak, but not now, not soon.
He will speak, but not now, not soon. Okay. Anyhow, we really love to have him. He's a man to. He's more like a moving time bomb, you know, and he has some real classified information there that will say
the best thing for Ngalele to do is to calm down and write his first book, My Time with Tinubu government.
We have to accept that.
With Tinubu government.
We have to accept that damage to a person's conscience.
Government.
A damage to a person's conscience takes much longer and is much deeper. Takes much longer to heal than a physical hurt. Yes, because this man's soul, his very soul has been affected.
Yeah. So
he Yes, it has to be very, very,
That's
it
an
has to be
image.
very, very quiet. It has
That's
to
an
detox.
image. That's the image of the young man we're talking about, Ajure Ngalale. And
It has to detox.
yes, he was the media and publicity secretary for the presidency. So that's Ajure. Viewers, guys, we've had fun. George, thank you for coming. Raji is doing his thing, moving, but still has the space and time to be with us. That's awesome. Thank you, Raji.
And please, warn Sir George to stop calling me Trump. To stop calling me Trump.
You're not Trump. You don't even have any close.
There's no similarities between me and Trump.
All right. Didi, next week we want to hear about the business summit, your business summit. Come tell us more how viewers can get involved, how people can be involved. Remember last time we were there with you. That's a beautiful thing you're doing. Very resourceful, very, very impressive activity. So,
and I need you people support individually, or not as a SME. Individually, I say I need you people support individually. Sir George, Sir Raji, everyone. I need you people to support. Send in your supports.
Send in your support. Yeah, George and Raji, you're hearing that. I'm hearing this loud and clear too.
Yes, yes.
We're going to do our best. We love what you do, and keep doing what you're doing. So until we come again, viewers, it's been Friday SSM World News Update, and the gentlemen here have pulled it through, having fun, discussing, looking into issues. This is what we do, and we do it so well. So until we come again, have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better